The City of Hanahan is busy preparing for its future with its own comprehensive plan, master plan, and a plan for a town center. I talk one-on-one with Hanahan Mayor Christie Rainwater about these plans for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Hanahan Mayor Christie Rainwater, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thanks so much, Quintin. It's always so good to see you.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly. I know that you and the City of Hanahan have been extremely busy preparing for its future. Of course, as you know, the City of Hanahan is creating a master plan for the town center. In fact, you said this on the Facebook page, quote, "Did you know that the City of Hanahan is creating a master plan for the town center? What is your vision for Hanahan's town center?" You all asked the residents. You also said this: "Your input and imagination are important to creating a master plan and roadmap that will encourage development and revitalization in the town center." How are you encouraging development and revitalization right now?
That is a great question, and I really think it's a multifaceted answer, and one of the main pieces of that is the master plan. So it's first really hearing from the residents and saying, what do you want this downtown to look like? What's important to you? What businesses are missing? What feel do you want to have? And there are some essential pieces to a downtown area, obviously businesses, sidewalks, green space, just a place where people can gather, but then making sure that they have what they want to gather about, right? So doing the master plan was quite an investment for the city, but we felt like it was worth it. And I'm really proud of the residents. We had a lot of input. People showed up. They shared what they wanted. And then again, another piece of that, it's multifaceted, is really going out and then pursuing exactly what they're looking for. So that includes developers, that includes business owners, that includes green space features. So really starting to do our research, have conversations, and then put in what they've asked for. So those are some two major pieces of really looking at what's coming together of this master plan.
What conversation are you having right now about redevelopment?
So there are several conversations that we're having about redevelopment. In particular, there's 3 pieces of land that have recently been bought in our downtown area, kind of triangular. And each of those developers has an individual plan for that land. A lot of it is mixed use, commercial. There will be also some live space because some of it is mixed use. And it will just really, I think, revitalize a lot of our downtown area. So having those conversations and then really working closely with these developers to put what they're planning on putting there, and then the businesses that we want to come. So they're in conversation with specific businesses, we're in conversation with them, and all of us kind of pulling together to make it happen, and thankfully most of them want to do it sooner than later. So the wheels are definitely moving. And that was an interesting thing that was chatted about during our master plan was, you establish this plan and then you start the process, but there was already so much happening in the works in the downtown area. They kept saying this is going to happen a lot quicker than you're expecting. So we're excited about that.
Now, Mayor, those 3 individual plans from those developers, have those particular plans been approved by City Council and your government?
Not quite yet. We're more in the rendering stages, in the architectural stages. So those are being developed and then they'll be brought before our boards and then up the chain to the council. But we're in conversation, right? We don't want to waste time or effort or money of those that do come to the City of Hanahan to do development. So when they have to spend money and put all this together and come to us and we go, let's not do that. It's not good for anyone, us or them. So what we've really tried to do is have conversations on the front end. We're working together so that way by the time it does come through, it's something that will hopefully be applauded by the public.
Are those particular individual plans thus far, I know it haven't gotten to council yet, but have those particular individual plans been approved by the public?
I have personally seen some of these plans, and I think they will be. It's really, when you're in an elected position, your main job is to listen closely to those you represent. And so we've heard our residents loud and clear, and I do think it's something that will be. A lot of our staff members do live right within the city, so they have seen it and they're giving it 2 thumbs up, but it has not gone before like the Planning Commission where residents will come out. And when it does, I'm excited to hear their feedback, but I do think it's something that they're going to give a 2 thumbs up on.
And when do we expect that?
The sooner the better, Quintin. That is the big question. But I do know that everything is well underway. I was on a trip recently with the Charleston Metro Chamber of Commerce, and one of the developers was on that trip too, and her renderings literally came in as we were sitting there together. It was such perfect timing. So I know they're moving and grooving, and two of them in particular have said the sooner the better. One of them I met with on Tuesday this week, and he showed me the most updated that he had. So, I mean, I don't expect it to be long, but, you know, these things definitely take time. So we'll have to see.
What is the expected time on these plans?
Well, one of them in particular, the city actually had owned the land and we sold it. And so that we've really gotten the details on. And so there will be a shovel in the dirt within 2 years tops, and hopefully done within 3. And so really within the next few years, you're going to see a lot of changing downtown. The other gentleman that I was just speaking with this week, I don't think it's going to take that long. I would say within the year. But, you know, it's so hard these days to really put, first of all, with government anyway, like we try not to put timeframes on anything. But the truth of it is, with, you know, supplies being off coast on ships and just, you know, labor shortages, I wouldn't dare put a time frame on it right now. But we really are, it's not out there as let's see what happens. All the parties that I have discussed are currently moving and grooving as fast as everything that needs to be put together will allow.
Now, those supply chain issues, how has that affected your master plan for the city?
As of right now, it really hasn't affected it tremendously, only because we're really more in that rendering phase. But I think as we head into the shovel phase, that's when we may feel it a little bit more. But hopefully, you know, things are honestly getting better and better. So hopefully that by the time there is a shovel in the ground, we're not really held up by any of those exact issues. And honestly, that'll be more on the developer side. You know, on the public side of things, we kind of go yes to the plan or no to the plan, or let's adjust it and then do this, and then they run with it. But you know, as someone that's, you know, spent a lot of money in the city, they're looking to make some of that money back. They're going to be moving and grooving. So let's hope that we really don't face that.
Now, what adjustments are you guys making right now to some of those plans?
Some of the plans that the developers are putting in?
Yes, ma'am.
None as of yet, because they haven't been officially submitted. There's no official changes that are out there. But again, because we're working so closely with them, I'm hoping that, you know, it doesn't have to keep going back to the drawing board, taking time and money. So what really, you know, like I mentioned, the residents are really craving more commercial. We have a lot of specific businesses that we lack in the city, and these specific developers are looking to bring those in. So, for example, restaurants.
Right.
We've probably talked about this before, Quintin, because I feel like it's something I've pursued from day one, and it's something that it's really exciting to actually see it now unfolding. But there are definitely, you know, just as an example, a lack of restaurants in the city of Hanahan. So now by creating space, recruiting specific restaurants, we're moving and grooving toward what the residents have been asking for and giving them what they've needed. And since last time we talked, we've actually had several restaurant additions. So we're already expanding in this area. I'm super excited for our residents.
Oh man, I have to come out there next week and see what's going on new there in Hanahan. But talk to me, Mayor, about those spaces that are created specifically for those restaurants. How many of that space is actually left right now that matches your master plan?
Well, this was the cool thing about this, Quintin. So as we have these consultants in to do this master plan, we're already in conversation with these developers. So now you bring in, you know, key members of the public that have been very involved with this, had a very vocal voice to begin with, bring in these developers, and we were basically able to craft it together. So it wasn't really us saying, this is our master plan, you fit into it. We were saying, well, this is kind of what we want. You're in the middle of planning. Let's take what you're planning and pull it in. And so it honestly came together beautifully for what they were already thinking of putting there and tweaking it right into play.
Now, you have the space for some of those restaurants that you all want in Hanahan. What are the other restaurants that are really missing that you're trying to recruit right now?
Well, honestly, there is just such a lack. We can recruit it all, but I'll tell you 2 new ones that are coming in. We just got a Famularis. We did not have a pizza restaurant. So like 30,000 people in the city of Hanahan can go for pizza right within the city limits. Now they can. So that was exciting. And then Nigel's is coming in.
Yes.
But isn't that exciting? That should soft open late this month and then early next month full open. But he's actually doing a second restaurant in Hanahan called St. Elizabeth's, and that'll be a 5-star. So I think it's pretty cool how just in the past year, you know, we'll have had a pizza place open, we'll have that casual dining, and then we'll have 5-star as well. So really trying to balance it out with everything that would, you know, fit anyone's need depending on the night of the week.
Now, are you heavily recruiting that is local or just regional or both?
I think we'd be open to anything, but the truth is Hanahan has that small town feel and they truly love to support local. So there is definitely an encouragement there for local establishments to pop up, or even if there's maybe a location somewhere else in the low country and they want to try another spot, kind of like Nigel's, Hanahan would be such a great fit. It really does have that small town feel where we want to support local. And so the opportunity is there for that, for those that want it.
Now, I think he's coming. I think that's going to be an Italian restaurant, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong.
Oh, the City Elizabeth?
I think so.
You know what? It might be some. I got to go to Mr. Nigel's home and taste some of the food, and there definitely was some Southern flair there too. I will tell you, there is not one thing that touched my tongue that didn't make it happy. So I can promise you that no matter what that man makes in that kitchen, we will have some very happy residents.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about obviously that small town feel. What is the pace of growth right now in the city of Hanahan?
Well, that's an interesting thing because it's not growing as fast as it was during the development of Tanner, but there's still growth in Hanahan. There's still new developments popping up left and right. And so we're working hard to make sure that, again, this commercial growth maintains the same pace versus, in the past it kind of was lacking. And so, trying to keep residents able to stay in the old city, not having to battle traffic and get back out there. So really working hard to bring those in simultaneously versus one over the other. But there's not a ton of land left. We are definitely landlocked and waterlocked in the city of Hanahan. So there's a few parcels left that are being developed. But really the city has shifted a lot toward redevelopment. If you look at the area kind of near that city hall downtown that we're developing, you'll see a few subdivisions, smaller blocks popping up. And what you'll see a lot of is just spots. Someone buys this home or this home, they flip it, revitalize it. And so it's been amazing to see the home values rise in that area, as well as just the spark of freshness there.
What are the home values say now versus 2020?
Home values have gone up significantly in the past 2 years. I can tell you that our current median home price is well over $350,000, approaching $400,000 in Hanahan, and it was well below that in 2020. So, the whole Charleston region has definitely popped, and Hanahan is no exception to that. Our home values have increased.
Now, and you know all about real estate, obviously. Okay. What has been the pace of obviously housing growth in your city?
As far as the development of new subdivisions, that has slowed down from the past, but is still moving and grooving for sure. There's several new subdivisions popping up throughout, and then again, the redevelopment of that, and then the increased value of it. So I feel like the real estate market in Hanahan has just been a fabulous thing. It's kind of hard sometimes to find a home in Hanahan because people love it. Once they get there, they don't want to leave. So there's not, a ton of availability at any given time. But the cool thing about that is when you want something, you're able to really find what you want because of the culture that's around there. And really, we do have something, I feel like, for every price range. So if you're looking for something as a starter home or you're wanting something on the water, there's really something for everyone.
Okay, let me ask you this, Mayor. In those particular plans, as far as your master plan for the city of Hanahan, does that include a city-owned swimming pool?
It does not. There are definitely discussions. There have been a lot of requests from residents regarding water features, and there are definitely discussions going on to include some sort of a water feature in one of our new parks. That's a part of our comp plan and also a part of a recent bond referendum that was passed. We have 2 new parks going in, and then every park that was in the city of Hanahan was just recently revitalized with a facelift. So we've spent a lot of time and effort and money in our parks. And so there are conversations about doing something like a splash pad happening. So if we can, we will.
Okay, and this might be another tough question, Mayor, but will Hanahan have a Hanahan-only boat ramp to the harbor in this particular plan?
So there's 2 parks that are about to be established. One is actually almost done. The second park is out for bid right now. Stewart is where it is located, and it will be on the river. So it will not have a boat ramp for full-size boats, but it will have a kayak launch. And I don't know if you've been out on that water, Quintin, but it is. I've gone out there in a kayak at sunset, and it is just gorgeous. So I'm super excited that our residents will be able to take a kayak out there and just really enjoy that body of water.
Oh, that's just amazing. Now the bid for this other particular project, what is that currently?
Well, the park itself will have a boardwalk along the water and the kayak launch, as well as some covered spaces, an outdoor fireplace, so you might want to host a party there. They'll have green space and a picnic shelter, of course, bathrooms, and a playground. And so those are the different things that it will feature, and we're just trying to see who wants to build it for us.
Have you found anybody who wants to do that?
Oh yes, as far as I know, there are bids coming in. It's just we're literally have it out there, and we're just waiting to hear back. They may even have some more in there right now. I have not gotten an update, but I'm sure I will at Tuesday's City Council meeting. We'll hear exactly where we're at.
That brings me to my next question. What exactly will be the timetable for this?
Well, our last park, it took just over a year to build, so I would think it would be very similar to this one, actually, if not less. There is a structure that will be up, but there's already an existing structure that they'll be modifying, so they won't have to start from scratch. That boardwalk might take some time. Obviously, building out over water is not the easiest task, but I don't anticipate it taking a very long time. So hopefully by maybe next summer or shortly after that, we'll be in the water.
Oh, and will this be free, or will that be a paid park?
Every park in the city of Hanahan is free, and these will continue to be free. Okay. So already, people pay their taxes. We want to give them what they're paying for, so they can just go and enjoy it.
Now, and speaking of structures, Mayor, let me ask you this. How is the city of Hanahan encouraging reinvestment in those underutilized shopping centers in your city?
Well, so that's an example of one of the redevelopments that's taking place. One of the developers just purchased the Piggly Wiggly shopping center in Paul Plaza, and that's what I saw the plans for on Tuesday, and it's going to look amazing. So one of the things that we're doing, like I said, is really encouraging not only development, but redevelopment, and I'm excited to see what this comes out. I saw some pictures. I don't want to give away the secrets, but I was pleasantly surprised by what's about to unfold.
Now, with all of this information that you have right now, Mayor Rainwater, how have that data from the pace of growth in your city allowed the city to understand existing and potential future conditions of your city?
Well, I think really shifting our focus to where we want to be, like being purposeful in doing that master plan, being purposeful in listening to our residents and asking them, it's really given us a map to say, let's head in this direction, right? So I feel like there's two extremes. Some people buck change. They're like, I don't want change, and other people force change. And I feel like, honestly, either extreme doesn't really work out well. But the truth is, when you're bucking change is going to happen, and then it might be change that you don't want. If you're forcing change, it may not have meant to go that way, and then it's not good either. So if we just direct the change, if we say, what are you looking to see as these developers come? Let's, point this out to them and see if we can head in that direction. It really winds up working out well for everyone when it's directed. And that's what I think the purposefulness and all of this is really going to wind up being a good thing.
And I should have asked this earlier, but how does the city of Hanahan accommodate growth that actually respects the unique characteristics of your city?
So there are specific guidelines in our downtown area that say, if we're going to build it, it needs to have this and that. And of course, we have things like tree ordinances. We want to keep the nature, and then being purposeful in the park space. We just had this 53-acre park developed to say, let's make sure we have green space. The city of Hanahan is very fortunate. We have this amazing body of water and a river flowing right through. And so really looking at that as an asset, protecting it, treasuring it, but also making sure the residents can enjoy it is key.
Okay. What communities in your city do you actually need to be enhanced, elevated, and protected right now?
I don't know of any that would need government to step in. I feel like the truth is the city of Hanahan residents, they really care, and for the most part, they do a great job. Areas that offered opportunity, the developers have seen that opportunity, and they're jumping in themselves and really making sure that things stay beautified. We have a group called Keep Hanahan Beautiful. They actually just released a new program that we're going to be starting soon for cleanups around the city. And so just again, being purposeful, allowing the private sector to do their thing, but also working closely with them to make sure. So there's nothing that we're having to, not specifically an area we're having to come in and go, this is scary, but really just working with what other people are seeing as opportunity and sticking their hands in to make sure it stays beautiful.
And this is a silly question, but what opportunity is available right now for these people?
I would say that area near City Hall is where I'm seeing most people, developers or contractors come in, purchase a house, and do flipping. They see what we're doing in the downtown area. They see opportunities with certain houses that could use a little love. And so I would encourage them to jump on board. That's where a lot of it's happening, and join the train, because you're not going to want to miss it when it pulls out of the station.
And how many of those houses near City Hall have actually been flipped in the past 2 years?
I'd have to look up those stats, but I mean, honestly, it's common. If you drive through that area, you'll be able to see it with your own eyes.
Mm. And I know you have to run to a meeting at 5 o'clock, but my last question to you is this, Mayor. What ordinances does the city have on the table to offer financial incentives, that is, to future businesses for the proposed town center?
We don't have any specific incentives out there right now. Those are discussions that have been had, and I'm sure they will continue to be. The truth is, Quinn, we have a lot of business owners that come in regularly and they want to start their business in Hanahan. We have a lot of developers coming in, and I think ideally, like, could we waive some fees here and there? Absolutely. But ideally, what we want to do, where do you really save your money? With time, with effort. So really doing what we're doing and saying, hey, let's get at the table. Let's make sure we get this through quickly. Let's make sure we're all on the same page is just as valuable, if not more valuable, than waiving, a permit here or there. So I'm not necessarily saying we won't continue to have those conversations. We will, but right now we're already doing everything we can to make sure we make this advantageous for those that are coming through.
Now, how much expected revenue will the town center bring the city?
We haven't done calculations on, it will probably depend on what exactly goes in there. And there's a lot of discussion. I mean, right now there is some smaller revitalizations like we talked about with that one shopping center, but these mixed use buildings that are coming in, that'll, be bringing in a large amount of commercial. It might be office space. There'll be housing available. It's really going to be a blessing to the city. And in addition to the revenue, we're excited about that because that helps us keep taxes low. But the truth is it's going to save people in gas money having to go, here and there. So there's just a lot of benefit financially to the residents when we're able to save them from their taxes going up any further, and when we're able to also save them on things like gas when they go out to eat. So it's a win-win for the residents for sure.
Now, how many mixed-use buildings are proposed to be coming into the city of Hanahan in the next 3 years?
As of right now, 2 that I know of in our downtown area. That may change. There's a lot of conversations happening about more, but there are 2 for sure that I've seen renderings of.
And what are those other conversations now about mixed-use buildings in the city of Hanahan?
It's something that the residents have definitely been asking for. There was another development that was proposed, and at the planning commission meeting, a lot of the residents came out and they said, hey, we need more commercial. They're looking for that mixed use. They're looking to see, if you want to, obviously offer housing, there's a housing shortage, like that's fine, but don't not give us what we're looking for, and that's that commercial side. And so, being able to really present that as an opportunity with that's what the residents are asking for, and having developers doing, well, that's what I want to bring in. It's just been a great thing.
Yes, indeed. And I want to continue this conversation late in the fall if I can, but I know you have to run off to a meeting. But Hanahan Mayor Christie Rainwater, thank you for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Well, I can't wait to talk again in the fall. And thanks for the wonderful conversation, Quinn, as always.
You're welcome anytime.